Hi, Dr. Terry Egan here from drterryegan.com. Thanks so much for visiting our YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about why it's important to validate your kids' feelings. Now, first, let me tell you that this is something I talk about all the time when I'm working with families who are receiving parent coaching services. And this is the process of making sure that you're connecting with your kids. We all do better when we feel like we have an audience who is listening to what we say, respecting what we say. It makes us feel calmer. It makes us feel connected with. And in my work with parents, that is one of the primary goals, because your relationship with your child is going to go more smoothly when your child feels like you're listening and respecting them. So let's take a second and just talk about what it means to validate emotions. So let's start off by acknowledging that it means recognizing and accepting another person's thoughts, feelings, sensations, behavior, and indicating that you find it understandable. Now, by validating someone's feelings, you're not saying you agree with them. You're not saying that you find their thoughts or behavior acceptable. You're not indulging them in irrational thinking or lying. It's just simply saying, okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I appreciate you telling me. I'm being a good listener. And I want to take a second and just acknowledge why that's important. I mean, I mentioned wanting to increase connectedness between parents and kids, but it's really important for kids to know that their feelings in general are really normal. We want to normalize feeling. So if a child is expressing fear or hesitation about something, their feelings are hurt, they're frightened, they feel frustrated or disappointed. Those are all things that most of the time make sense and they're relatable. And so when we tell kids, okay, this is something that other kids have felt who have been in this circumstance, or I remember feeling this way too, then their feelings become normalized. Because a lot of times when kids feel something negative, they think, I'm the only one who feels this way. And especially in a world with social media where kids tend to just celebrate the positive things, kids can often feel that how they feel is not experienced by other kids, and that's just not true. So we want to normalize those feelings, and we want kids to be able to process whatever their big feelings are, and then after they get through that, be able to get into a more problem-solving space. So if they're really nervous about doing something new for the first time, and they're focusing on feeling scared, or I'm going to look dumb, or whatever it is, and we can validate and say, okay, yeah, I hear you. That is something that could be really stressful. So tell me a little bit more about how you're worried that you're not going to do well in that activity. Thank you for telling me. Those are all phrases that we can use to have kids feel validated. And oftentimes when our kids express a feeling, especially if it's negative, we want to be dismissive. Oh, you don't have to feel that way. That's silly. That's ridiculous. Or you're overreacting. Or don't be dramatic. You don't have to worry about that. Those are all phrases that parents and adults use with kids that are very dismissive and invalidate their emotions. And a lot of times kids can feel like, okay, my parent's saying that I'm being silly for thinking this way, and my feeling must not be normal. And in the world of a kid, and honestly, in most of us, we don't want to feel like we're different than everyone else. That's not usually a pleasant feeling. So think this over. Think about ways that you can validate your kids' emotions. And a really simple thing too to consider is making sure that when your kids are sharing something about themselves, do your best to maintain eye contact, nod, reflect some of their emotions. So it sounds like you're feeling really frustrated about this. And maybe not do other distracting things like looking at your phone or trying to, make school lunches or trying to answer a work email. A lot of times people don't feel very validated when somebody isn't attending to them when they're expressing their feelings. So that's something that could be really helpful, is just you maintaining that eye contact and showing that you're listening. That alone goes a long way in helping to validate kids' feelings. So thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more parenting tips and visit my website at www.drterryegan.com. Thank you.